Okay, so I'm in Barcelona right now. Just had a call with my mentor in the group call, and that is everything that I wrote on the whiteboard about my habits, my energy, protecting my energy, doing more, going harder. I always keep telling myself that I need to go harder. And in this section of Barcelona, the chapter that I'm in right now, my goal is to do as much work as possible with as much drive as possible. And I think that's the main thing that I've been struggling with whilst being out here, is that I feel like I need to go harder. I feel like I'm not doing enough work, and that's one of the biggest things that all of my clients face when it comes to doing work on the daily. It's that, like, they just spend so much time on low leverage tasks. They don't protect their time because they don't see themselves as someone who does that. And my job is to make this my default state, where I am always doing all the high leverage tasks. I'm doing things correctly. I'm delegating out of abundance and not scarcity. I'm speaking to clients and I'm getting them results. I'm just being a fucking A player. I'm being a ruthless killer that I know I am, but sometimes I struggle to have on the daily. So I've recently come to the realization of three things, which is health is not the biggest needle mover towards energy and time and being the best at what you do. It is just the belief and ruthless execution that you can put behind the task that you're doing. Second thing is you need to have no as your default state, which you are the type of person who says no to things at all times, unless it is the biggest thing that moves the dial. And I think that's one of the biggest things for me, is that I've just been saying yes to a lot of things. I even made a YouTube video yesterday about helping people to say no. And then I got a bit of dissonance when I filmed it, because I was like, fuck, I can't do it for myself. So that's a big thing. And then third thing, when it comes to shiny objects and other stuff that you may feel like moves the needle, or the strategy might improve what you're doing, taking things from other people, or hopping to different ideas when you're not executing consistently on what is already working, but you're failing to execute on. That is the biggest thing that really takes me away from doing things right. When it comes to, I always think there's something else. I'm searching for other solutions when I know the solution, but I'm tucking it to the back of my brain because I think that there's something better. And all of these three things are really teaching me a lot, but now it's just the case of implementing them. So I'm going to take you guys along with the journey on this and help anyone else who's going through the exact same situation get this done. So I'm just going to walk you through my whiteboard. First of all, I've got my to-do list in this top left corner. Today, I woke up at 7 a.m. and I went to the gym and I did my health inputs. Normally what I would prioritize, but I've realized today that this should be at the bottom of the to-do list, if not, just not on it, because it's not one of the three of my 2 to 3 daily commitments that are the highest leverage. As much as going to the gym and improving your looks, improving your health is super important, I feel like if I need to level up in business, I need to move the needle, not in the health aspect, but more in the rest of these, which is content. Today was a content day, just being a really creative early morning block so I can get everything delegated to my editor. But so far it is now 3 p.m. and I'm going to be honest, it's not quite moved the dial as much as I would. I've filmed some videos, I've done some scripts, I've done everything in the morning, like filming some videos and getting these two halfway done, but I'm not really feeling everything, right? So if I can get this fucking sorted, then everything else works. It really does. I can even use this that I'm filming right now to put into short form. But the biggest thing that moves the dial for me right now is cutting this out and moving it out of my to-do list, because that was originally a priority. I was always this seeing myself as this healthy guy and that I should be doing everything, which it is true, but I need to do less with health and more with the rest, and just have this unwavering belief that I am that guy who works on my highest leverage tasks in my morning work block and challenging myself every day to get it all done before 12 p.m. That's another one of the unlocks that I wanted to really push myself to do, because that's what we uncovered on the call, where it was like, if you can get it all done by 12 p.m, you're maximizing the amount of free time that you have to execute on the rest of how you see yourself, whether it be through a creative outburst on making more content, or it's like doing your DMs. You see yourself as that ruthless killer because you've got such an abundance of time, and it really enforces that early on during your day, instead of sort of spinning wheels for the first 6 hours of your day and then you get nothing done. Next is the law of more, where if you have something where you feel like a bit scarce on, where you feel like I've struggled with this quite a lot, even now, with number one on my to-do list after the gym is delegating YouTube videos, because they cost more than short form, simply. And I'm thinking, well, that video could be very easily done by my fucking self. I could just do that, I could clip it up. But in reality, it's putting me in a state where I'm no longer asking for more, which is I would make 5 more short form videos in the time that it would take to do this YouTube video on DaVinci Resolve and edit it and just put some text and captions and whatnot in it, I could make 5 more short form in that time. And that is the law of more. If I can do more with the time than I can by doing this task, I need to really take a step back and picture what that thing is. What is the more within the scenario? And then for me, I can picture myself as the guy who does more. And that just really flipped a switch on that call for me earlier, where it was just like, I'm not doing more because I don't see myself as the guy who chooses to. And so that is something I really want to focus on. The next is essentially when it comes to these 2 tasks, I'm always thinking about what I can do as soon as I wake up. And as soon as I wake up, I just think about and I make decisions. The third thing, which I think is going to be really key to get towards the momentum side of things, is reducing my decision making. A lot of millionaires and a lot of people that we were talking about on the call just don't take fashion very seriously. They don't take other stuff very seriously in terms of choosing and deciding, because it just takes so much of their time up, and it puts this sort of sense in their brain that they take time to make decisions. They're the type of person who does that. They see themselves as a decision maker, but you want to see yourself as a ruthless executor who spends no more than 5 seconds thinking about what they need to do. And when it comes to gaining momentum, that is the key indicator that you have momentum, is the fact that you've allocated your decisions to much less than you would do normally. So when it comes to scripting and delegating, I'm not deciding on a lot of things. I'm just going after it, and I'm making quick decisions. When it comes to what clothes I wear in the morning, I'm not making much decisions at all. I'm just focusing exactly on, I can make a decision right now. When I was just making my breakfast earlier this morning, I wasn't thinking about where I should get my plates from, like what plate should I use, where I'm going to sit for my meal, should I grab some water for all this. Like, there's so many little mini decisions in your day, and if you see yourself as someone who makes a lot of them rather than just making as little decisions as possible within your day, then that's going to really move the needle as well. Next thing, when it comes to everything, momentum, we've decided, has a combination of habits and time allocation. If I can allocate all of my time into very, very small blocks and actually decide that this task isn't going to take an hour, I want to get my time down to 5 minutes per this task, I can really get a really good grasp of being able to ruthlessly execute and do it really fast, because speed is key in business. But with the habit side of things, I need to be making a habit of doing small things by building self-trust, which I've also added on a layer to self-trust here as pride. A lot of what I do and I struggle with is that I don't feel proud about doing the work. I don't feel proud about getting this task done. I'm always in the mindset of, I've got to do this next one, I've got to do this next one. But that lack of pride means I reduce the amount of self-trust that I can gain from saying that I'm going to do something and doing it. So the way to reverse that is to gamify the game of pride. If you can really understand that, like, just enjoying the work that you do is one of the biggest things you can do when it comes to improving your identity on how you delegate tasks, how you do tasks in general. It's going to be so impactful. So to gamify self-trust and habits, every time that you tick one off your list, you do a thing, like a ritual, to be able to gamify, like, this is how I do my morning work block. It honestly becomes so much more fun and less of a groggy morning trying to get everything done. And I think that's a really big takeaway from that call, is that I'm able to gamify my pride. And everything from that point will end up building more self-trust to the point where I can execute on the habits again and again and again, because the only reason you stay not doing the habits that you're meant to and doing the habits, the bad habits, which are not meant to, is because you have a deficit of this self-trust here. So the more that you repeat a task that you say you're going to do, and the more that you avoid the tasks that you say you won't do, eating unhealthily, going to the wrong spot, or saying yes to everything, or saying yes to things that you know won't move the needle, taking time out of your day when you know you shouldn't do, just bad habits in general, that will deplete your self-trust. And I think when it comes to pride, another word you can exchange for that is conviction. I have so much conviction that I can get this task done in 5 minutes, like compared to how I've normally been operating. But I need to also focus that conviction into this belief that it's just all going to work. I'm going to work as hard as I can. I have this belief that I'm going to execute as much as I possibly fucking can. And that is pretty much it. If you can full circle everything that we've gone through today, this will probably help you. And I'm most likely going to fuck this shit up in the next couple of days, just because I have that unwavering belief to start with, that I know I can do this. I've done it once, I can do it again type shit. Anyway, My bottleneck at the moment is booking calls. So the more content I post, the more engagement I get, the more people I can have conversations with. Amazing, right? That is me getting through this entire to-do list. And then when I've got that creative space, let's say by tomorrow, I'm finishing tasks by midday, I've got that momentum, I've got that time allocation where it takes less time to do the things in general, then I'll be able to do more, essentially. That feeling of going harder will be ingrained in my identity. And I think that conviction is going to solidify that. If I just have that belief it's going to work, I can transition from level 3 knowing of belief to level 4 I'm living in that fact that I am this person. I'm proud of the work that I do. When I hit the pillow, I am absolutely loving it, and I'd love to be able to help someone else with that. So if you want also help with this, I'm sure I'm going to show the full transformation in this video, but if you want help with this, please let me know on Instagram at Alex Archives Life. I'd love to help you, and I can't wait to see the end of this process. Archives out.